Hi everyone, this is Sissy, and this is my first episode of Sissy Stitches. Welcome to my channel. Thank you for watching. So, had a lot of questions from people about what do you do when you're retired? And my answer is anything you want. There's no schedule, no times that you have to meet, no deadlines anymore. So I like to go for a walk at the neighborhood shopping area as often as I can when the weather's nice. In Texas, unfortunately, hasn't been nice that often, but it is today, so I'm out enjoying the sunshine and a nice walk outside. Okay, so we're back home from our walk today, and I wanted to show you a couple of finished items that I have. So the first section I'll cover is quilting, since that's mainly what I have, but there will be a little cross stitch today. I've got a couple of things in the works there too. So the first thing that I recently fully finished is my lap size double wedding ring quilt. So you may have seen it already in Elizabeth's video, but I will take a full-size picture and put it in right here. But this block pattern here, the way it's a 4-patch, and then even the melons are a 4-patch, was inspired by an Instagram post I saw from Victoria Findlay Wolf, who talked about a no-waste method of doing a double wedding ring. So she had this video that showed how to do it, and basically you put your template with the concave, with the curves, put the big center template on top of 4 squares sewn together, and then the cutout pieces, you piece those together, and then that makes for the little melons that go in the center. Now, her fabrics that she was doing were neutrals, so she had 2 different neutrals that she pieced together for the melons and for the centers. But I wanted to do colorful centers because I really wanted to show off the prints. And so where I have a neutral arc, she had pieced arcs. So if you look at hers and think it looks different, that's the difference. So anyway, I have a 26-inch size template that I bought from Flynn online. I'll link their website below. But it makes a really big quilt. So this quilt is only 3 rings wide by 4 rings long, and it finished up about 57 by 73 or 74. So it's a really good couch size quilt. So it's my new favorite. And then on the backing, I just used some wide backing that I found on Connecting Threads. It's called Cobblestone. It comes in several different colors, and it's really super soft. It's been washed a few times and super, super soft. So it's a real good neutral pattern. And this color, I believe, is Atlantis. Okay. And my next fully finished quilt that I finished last week is a Scrappy Trip Around the World quilt. And I made this following Elizabeth Ann Stitch's tutorial series that she published, I think last year. Anyway, it's a super quick and easy put together pattern using a lot of strip piecing. And I got a fat quarter bundle. I ordered a mystery bundle just to, to see, because the double wedding ring fabrics were actually a fat quarter mystery bundle, and I just loved the fabrics. They're Anna Maria Horner. But this one, I got it and I was like, it's fall, maybe, I don't know what I'll do with it. And then I thought, oh well, if you cut it up into the little small trip around the world square sizes, you know, once it's finished. I don't, you know, these aren't individually sewn together squares. They're all strip pieced and then cut apart. So don't think that I sat here and sewed a bunch of 2.5-inch squares together, because I did not and never will. So anyway, and I took those over to the long arm quilter last Tuesday and got those all quilted up, and then finished the binding on the double wedding ring first. I had to do bias binding, so that was interesting to do. But then I brought the other one with me on our retreat last weekend to New Braunfels and finished that up while I was there when I took a break from cross stitching. So those are my two most recent finishes. And while we were at the retreat, they have a basically a swap table. So if someone has something crafty that they've been working on, or, you know, in their stash that they no longer want, they can put it on the swap table, and everyone at the retreat has the opportunity to go by and take a look at the table. If they see anything they like, or, you know, they can take it for free, donate, you know, items. So one of the items that I picked up was a bundle of these quilt blocks. So it's a cross stitch, it's an X embroidery stitch on these white pieces of fabric. And then there was enough in the package, or in the bundle that was on the freebie table, to make a king size quilt. Well, I took it back to our room and spread it all out over the floor, and realized that there was enough to make a 5x5 block quilt out of it. So the quilt blocks finish at about 16.5-inch square, so it was going to be just over 80 by 80 square, which would be a very nice size quilt. So this week, since I've been back, I spent some time, and I'll put in some video. So here are 4 of the blocks that I've sewn together. Yeah, well, I promise you they are sewn together. So I was very curious to see how this little centerpiece was going to look once it's all sewn together. So I did not do such a great job matching my blue lines, but it's supposed to come out in the wash, so hopefully that's what happens. But yeah, it's going to make this really cute design here in the corner of the blocks, and then we'll have the flower baskets alternating with that. So I think 5x5 will make a nice little couch blanket. So that's what I'm going for. Okay, so I am going to sew a couple more of these blocks together and see how everything looks. Oh, well, I just noticed that this block isn't complete right here, like this one. So this has to go in the incomplete pile. I should probably just check the ones that I already sewed together and make sure they all have the completed flowers. So these 2 look complete. And these 2 look complete. And here is a little bit better view of the center design, or the design that the corners make. And you can really see the blue line that I didn't really get it lined up. But I'm hoping that washes out when I wash this. So, okay. Well, I'll have to watch out a little more closely. Oh, well. And this one, okay. It was just the backlighting. I thought it was sewn upside down, but it was just the backlighting that I was seeing. So, okay. Well, let's try sewing a couple more together, assuming they're complete. So, this one looks complete. So here's one. And here is the second one that looks complete to me. Okay. So what I have found that works for me is I actually need to use sewing pins on this, is to look for the blue corner and poke my pin through the corner from the back side so that it comes out on that side, and then making sure I have the baskets going the same way. On the other piece of fabric, I will poke through the corner like so, and then I'll try to hold this up and look through the fabric so that I have my blue lines lined up against each other. And then I'll just take my pin and poke it through on the blue line. Okay, so I'm not going to try to trim these to have a consistent seam allowance on each side, because as you can see, it's kind of all over the place the way it's cut. So I'm just going to pin my corners, or try to get them pinned as exact as possible by poking through from the back side at the corner, and then going into the right side corner on the one on the bottom. And then once I get those corners marked, then try to look through the fabric and line up the blue lines as best I can and put a pin through on the blue line. Okay, so now that I have both corners pinned, then I'm going to go back approximately in the middle. I'm just going to kind of stretch this and then work back to the center, and then hold it up to the light, and I see that my blue lines are lined up, and then I'm going to put a pin in here in about the center. Okay, so I think I've got this as close as I can get it. And again, if it's not perfect, the blue lines should come out in the wash. And if for some reason they don't, well, this was a freebie to me. I'm trying to make sure that, I sew it as accurate as possible. But if not, this is just a fun little sewing project, and I'm hoping for the best outcome, but if not, it's just one of those things. So, since I'm not needing to do a 1/4 inch seam here, I'm not going to worry about using my 1/4 inch sewing foot. I'm just going to use my regular 5/8 inch sewing foot. And I'm just going to line the needle up with the blue line here. And then put that into place. And let's see how we do. I'm trying to sew on the blue line. It's faintly visible through the back side of this fabric. So and I have a little mark right there on my foot, right there. So I'm trying to just guide that blue line. My needle's right behind that little point. So just trying to stitch on both blue lines as I go. And okay, so let's just open it up and take a quick peek. Now we can see a little blue through there, but overall, down here, it looks like it got lined up pretty good, and up at the top, it's lined up pretty good. So, all right, so we'll put that one on the ironing board behind me, and I've got a little stack of them over here that are ironed, but I really need to take a close look and see if they really look like they're fully stitched. This one, nothing jumps out at me as not being fully stitched. And here's another one. Again, nothing's jumping out at me as not being fully stitched. So, all right, so I'm just gonna repeat the process with these 2 blocks. And the way I'm doing it, since I'm doing a 5x5 finished layout, that's my goal, is to do 5x5. I probably need to go through all the blocks first and see how many I actually have that are completely finished, because I don't have any of the floss that was used to stitch these, so I can only work with the finished ones, unless I want to stitch some of these myself, which I'm not really looking to do. So anyway, I'll see how many fully finished blocks I have that I can work with, and get those sewn together. So that's what I am working on this afternoon, and I'll come back with an update when I have more progress. Okay, so I've ironed all of my blocks. I counted, and I have exactly 25 of these blocks. So I'm going to be able to do a 5x5 block, finishing about 82.5 by 82.5 ish. And so I am going to go ahead and keep sewing these blocks together, and then when I finish, I'll show you what it looks like. Here from when I was putting it together, but I finished it, and you can see how cute the little corner is when you get the four together. And then here is one of the baskets. So I have a picture that I'll insert here of it fully shown together, and then I'll show a few clips of putting the blocks together and some of the things that I ran into as I was doing that, because it's you know, none of my crafting is perfect. It's all you know, what did the labels I say? Just, it says made with love, not perfection. I just ordered some quilting labels because I haven't been labeling my quilts, so I want to put some labels on them. But anyway, nothing I do is ever perfect. There's always some little something that either a stitch off or something. So anyway, and so that's all I've got for quilting. And for cross stitch, I have this Mill Hill Winter Holiday Collection cuckoo clock ornament that I started at the retreat. Elizabeth gifted this to me, and so I thought, you know what, I bet I can finish this quick. And I'm switching to do all Christmas ornaments on my tree, handmade ornaments. So this fit the bill, and with Christmas coming up, so I have completed all of the stitching, added all the beads and the little cuckoo clock hangers. So now I just need to put some felt on the back and insert a hanger so I can hang it on the tree, and it will be fully finished. But isn't that just so cute? This is my first time to do a Mill Hill ornament and do all the beading, and I was a little nervous about the beading, but Elizabeth walked me through it, and it was great. So yeah, I did not finish at the retreat because of just, you know, too much talking and, you know, visiting and shopping and everything else at the retreat. But I did make a lot of progress on it and got it finished this week. So I'll have that backed and ready to go on the Christmas tree right after Thanksgiving when we put up our tree. Okay, so that's the Mill Hill ornament. The next bit of cross stitch that I worked on this week was also gifted to me from Elizabeth, and it is called Pernice Manor by Teresa Kogut. So I haven't stitched very many samplers, and I consider this a sampler, it's so big, but that's what it'll look like. And this is my progress so far. So I've just got a little bit of the border and a little bit of a bird started. I started in the upper right corner of the pattern. So anyway, and this is on 40 count Vintage Country Mocha by Zweigert. And I'm using all the called for DMCs and wheat stye work colors. They were all included in the kit. So anyway, this one looks like it's gonna be 221 by 156 stitch count. So it's gonna take a long time, but I wanted to get started on it, and I need to space my cross stitching in with my quilting, otherwise my quilting bill gets a little out of control. So anyway, that is cross stitch. And let's see, what else? Oh, so then I had a little bit of haul this week, and so this is all quilting related. So, of course, I got some K-Facet Jelly Roll, and I had to bust into it and see all the different prints, but I just love how bright and colorful his fabrics are. So I'm going to make a Madeline quilt with this, and this is some leftover cobblestone backing that I had from another quilt, so I'll use that as the background color for most of it. And the Madeline quilt is one that I've made in the past, but it's a paid-for pattern, but it's got just short and longer rectangles that are offset with strips in between of a neutral background. So for this one I used not all the same print, but just a lot of different ones. But it's a real fun quilt to make, and it works up really nicely with a jelly roll, and I just loved all of these colors. They were just so bright. I was like, I need to make this into something, so I think that's what I'm gonna make for it. So I got that this week, and then I also got, they had a bunch of 2-yard cuts of fabric on sale, so I got this Divine Yellow by Victoria Findlay Wolf, because I really like her quilting fabrics, also her quilting patterns. I'm a big fan of hers. So I got the yellow, and then I got some Crackle Red, and some Little Nifty Red, also by Victoria Findlay Wolf. And I got some Kerchief multicolor with an orange background by Victoria Findlay Wolf. And I think this is the last one of hers. This one is called Meander Pink. So all of these together are from the same line, so I thought that'll make a fun quilt. Not sure yet what pattern I'll do with that, but I have 2 yarns of each, so something will come to me and then I'll whip it out. Okay, so the next set of 2-yard cuts I got were from Anna Maria Horner Fabrics. So here we have Disco in the blue and the cotton candy colors. I just love the fun, bright colors. And then these are both called Cosmo. One is Ocean and Mountain. So, not sure yet what I'll do with those, but they'll make a really pretty quilt. And then I got this layer cake by Moda, and I thought when I was looking at it, it's called Kindred by One Canoe 2. It looked like it was pink and blue, which is what I was looking for in my online search for fabrics, but it's really peach and green. So I don't know if I'll use it for its original purpose or not, but my thought was that I would make one of the scintillation quilt that is the diamond pattern with like an ivory background. So anyway, we'll see if that's what I end up doing, or try to keep looking for something that's actually pink and blue. And so that's it for the haul. The other thing that I was planning to do in a future video is I've made a lot of sawtooth star quilts, and I've had some people ask, you know, for information on them, how to put them together and stuff like that. So I thought that I would make a video and show how to make a star tooth quilt using 12 fat quarters. So this is a fat quarter from a Fat Quarter Shop, one of their monthly clubs. I think it's the Moda Club. Yeah. So these are all different blues. I think the pattern is called Cascade. So with these 12 fat quarters, you can make a 3-block by 4-block sawtooth star quilt that uses 16-inch finished squares. So you end up with about a 48 by 64 quilt, which is not a big quilt, but it's a good lap quilt for watching TV, you know, single person. So what I've found is that these are all of the prints in this fat quarter. So you can pair them up, and I've figured out a way to cut them so that you can get exactly enough to have half of one fat quarter with half of another fat quarter and have, you know, complementary blocks. So anyway, I will work on this in a future video and just show you what I do. But again, it'll be 16-inch blocks. And then you can always adapt. I have a website that I refer to that has all of the different size blocks you can make, and I refer to it all the time. So anyway, so I think for my first video, this is really all I had to talk about, and hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.